I'm telling you, all these are working for evil, for the devil.
Yes, Master.
Because they don't have enough morals, so the devil influences them easily if they are not devils themselves.
Yes,
Master.
If they have enough morals, dignity, and some human decency, then the devils will stay away from them because they respect that they don't dare.
Right.
They're good people. They don't dare. But they don't have enough morals. They don't have enough virtue. That's why they are influenced by the devils and work for them. No matter that the normal people suffer so much, they don't care. As long as they're well fed and well off. Oh, man. Just live off the people and don't take care of people.
Yes,
Master.
These so-called leaders, they live off people. Live off all the people's tax money, hard-earned labor, and finance.
Yes,
Yes.
Master.
And don't even take care of them. This is the world upside down. If somebody pays you, you should be diligent, respectfully work for them, right?
That's right.
Yes,
Just
Master.
like they are your boss. But because they became leaders and these people are poor, so they look down upon them or they don't care. These kinds of people, you think they're worth their soul to be leaders?
No, Master.
No, Master. Not at all.
Of course not. That's why I spare no words.
Right, Master.
You don't blame me, no?
No,
No,
Master. No, we agree with you.
I don't find any better word to heap upon them. I feel so disgusted, truly. They're despicable. These are the words I can find. They're so ugly, sinister. Sinister, yeah, they are. Ugh, ugly like sin. And then talking big and standing tall and eating off people, but don't take care of the people. Shameless, yeah. Okay, tell me anything else, otherwise I could keep ranting on.
Yes, Master. So with the COVID spreading like it is now, it just continues.
A new COVID wave is accelerating across the country, with cases rising in nearly every state. New daily cases are up by more than 50% from just 2 weeks ago, while COVID-related hospitalizations rose by 12% over the last week.
More than 145,000 new infections in just the past 24 hours. And take a look at this tonight, the community-level spread map. A growing number of counties in the Northeast now moving back into the high-risk level.
New COVID cases in the U.S. tripling over the last 6 weeks, the highest daily total since mid-February.
This pandemic is not over, and if we bring down our guard and not do the things we need to do, we can get ourselves into the same trouble we were several months ago.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise in more than 100 countries. The Omicron variant dominates those infections. Its two main mutations, known as B.4 and B.5, are harder to track and resistant to vaccines. The next few months are going to see an increase in global travel as millions take their summer holidays, and that's likely to increase the spread of COVID-19. Those in the pandemic-hit tourism industry were hoping to recover this season as restrictions began to ease in many places, but that could change. The head of the World Health Organization says the pandemic is not over.
Driven by BA4 and BA5 in many places, cases are on the rise in 110 countries, causing overall global cases to increase by 20%, and deaths have risen in 3 of the 6 WHO regions. This pandemic is changing, but it's not over. Our ability to track the virus is under threat as reporting and genomic sequences are declining, meaning it's becoming harder to track Omicron and analyze future emerging variants.
Should we have an open policy, like a lot of the restrictions are being lifted? Should this continue?
It depends on the country, what they choose to do, you know?
Right.
But the thing is, people have to be disciplined. Not just like, okay, take off the mask, and they said, no, they should continue with the mask.
Right.
Because that will prevent the spreading and prevent the infection to a bigger extent.
Yes, true.
Not just wear masks, but wear these jumpsuits.
Yes.
And also the face shield until the pandemic's completely eliminated.
Right.
Then it should be back to normal. But right now, we could be open, but just half normal.
Right, Master.
Meaning just wear protective gear.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean they lost their freedom. They can go out and do their things, work and everything. Otherwise, if they just open like that, then the virus will jump and spread very quickly.
That's right, Master.
Like in North Korea.
Yes.
In just some days, 2 million infected, but they say they control it now. I'm not sure. So they refuse Biden's offer of vaccines.
Yes.
There are fears North Korea is facing an imminent COVID catastrophe. Earlier this month, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un admitted COVID finally reached his country, but North Korea lacks the testing capacity to confirm suspected cases and has relied instead on the number of people with fevers.
The number of people with fever-like symptoms surpassed 2 million today. The country has reported more than 200,000 fever cases and 2 related deaths over the last 24 hours, taking the recorded fever caseload to 2.24 million, according to state media. The UN Human Rights Agency has now warned of devastating consequences for the 25 million citizens if the situation prevails. The WHO is also concerned as the unchecked spread could give rise to new deadlier variants.
But the isolated regime continues to shun outside offers of assistance.
South Korea and the United States have offered to send aid to help fight the outbreak, but have not received a response from the North yet.
Well, they always snoop Biden ever since he came to the office anyway.
Yes.
They only talked to Trump. They don't trust Biden. I told you, he lost the trust of many nations.
Yes,
Master.
All the time already, not just that. In North Korea, they don't even have an inch of respect for Biden. They never answer him anything up to now.
Yes.
All kinds of offers, like he wanted to see North Koreans, they don't answer.
Yes.
Now they offer vaccines free of charge, they don't answer. I don't blame them. They are just using their home remedies to cure themselves. Sometimes it's with even less side effects than the vaccines.
Yes, Master.
As I know it, vaccines have not been good to people, even though it seems so.
Yes.
But this is the thing I knew inside. I shouldn't have said it, but I said it anyway. Who cares anymore? You can have this open policy, but must take precautions.
Yes.
Must wear a mask, must wear a face shield, must wear more protective clothing. Not open clothing so that they can go anywhere, but more zipped up, more tightly protective, less open parts of the body. Then it would be much better. Then they can open. But just like Taiwan's open policy, because they think in Shanghai people protested and it doesn't help with the lockdown policy, so they opened. And then it came up a lot of sickness in no time.
Yes,
Master.
Before they were kind of very little, very under control, only the imported cases. And now it's also local cases.
Yes.
I saw again today 68,000 something cases. It's much, much more than before. It jumped many 100%.
Yes. Master.
Before it's only maybe 1,000 or something.
Yes.
Yeah, or less. And the death is only 600 or 800, and now more and more.
Once lauded for keeping the pandemic at bay, Taiwan now sees its medical facilities overwhelmed with COVID-19 cases and medical workers in major hospitals struggling to cope. There's growing concern that the medical system could face collapse.
But the island has refused to abandon plans to live with the virus. Daily infections topped 90,000 for the first time since the start of the pandemic, taking Taiwan's total tally past 1 million. Local experts warn case numbers may only peak at the end of the month.
Since Taiwan abandoned its zero COVID policy in April, the island's daily COVID cases have reached record high after it shortened the quarantine period for close contacts of infected patients and dropped contact tracing.
他现在的状况都恨不得自己确诊了，因为这样他可以在家里好好休息，不然就是有一部分的人他真的身心疲惫到底。 他这真的很想要直接离职了，不想做了。
Ms. Young's frustration is shared by many medical workers at major hospitals.
确诊医护要休息。确诊医护要休息。
Unions of medical workers took to the street last week to protest against the government's rash decision to ditch the zero COVID policy. with resources stretched to the limit. Many severely ill patients are not receiving the due medical care.
So open policy relies on the citizens' discipline.
Yes.
I don't know if the Taiwanese people like to be disciplined. It doesn't look like it to me. For what I know of some of the Taiwanese people I know, they don't really like discipline. So it comes so fast. And if the Taiwanese government continues to have this kind of open policy, then the whole Taiwan will be infected in no time. I hope not. I hope they control it.
Yes, Master.
Not like Shanghai control, but control in a different way.
Yes.
More relaxed, but control. Have to track down who is sick and really make them take medicine, stay home, or be treated accordingly. Cannot just let them run all over and infect the whole country. Oh, my God. All right, then. So I think the best are these two solutions that we have to adopt. We have to encourage more agriculture, farming for food, vegetable farming, grain farming to cure the hunger crisis, not animal people farming.
Yes.
And don't have too much open policy for the COVID infection.
Yes, Master.
Yeah, because there are many other infections as well, like the monkeypox. Did I mention it?
Yes.
Yes, Master.
Monkeypox is also spreading.
Yes, that's right.
In America, they are considering to have some vaccine or something for it.
It is now, unfortunately, monkeypox that is troubling the European countries, along with the US and Australia. And with that, the viral infection has raised an alarm around the world.
Worldwide, there have been roughly 200 confirmed and suspected cases in at least a dozen countries. In the United States, the first case was identified last week in a Massachusetts patient who had recently been in Canada. There is a small number of presumed, though not yet confirmed, cases in New York City, Florida, and Utah.
Americans should expect to see more reported cases of monkeypox in the weeks ahead. That's the message today from the CDC.
Now, the U.S. government has reportedly placed a large order with the maker of a vaccine for monkeypox, purchasing enough for 13 million people at a cost of $119 million.
Monkeypox cases are on the rise, and health officials are becoming increasingly concerned. The World Health Organization says cases globally rose 30% in the past 2 weeks, with Europe seeing the vast majority of those cases, responsible for 80% of the new infections across the globe.
Across the world, there has now been more than 6,000 cases recorded in 58 countries.
The UN says expanding vaccination efforts and improving monkeypox surveillance will be crucial to curtailing a future outbreak.
WHO is working with countries and vaccine manufacturers to coordinate the sharing of vaccine, which are currently scarce and need to be accessible to the most at-risk people.
Meanwhile, New York City is now being dubbed the epicenter of the monkeypox virus here in the U.S. Health officials say the number of probable cases increased to more than 119 as of this week. The city now plans to open several pop-up clinics to administer vaccinations in the coming weeks. Despite this, the New York City Health Department is pleading with the CDC to send more doses to meet the increased vaccine demand.
Oh, you can't just vaccinate forever, man.
Yes, Master.
First they say vaccine is enough, and then no second dose, third dose, and then the fourth is to boost.
Yes.
Booster, and then not enough, then maybe the fifth and the sixth even. In some countries, I heard it's like that.
Yes.
A growing proportion of COVID deaths are from breakthrough infections.
There are vaccinated people who get infected, some of whom go on to severe disease and death.
It is a staggering number we never could have imagined. 1 million Americans now dead from COVID.
And even now, 300 Americans die each day from COVID.
We are still going through this pandemic. Hospitalizations are at their highest level since mid-March. And now next month, the FDA plans to discuss vaccines and whether they should be modified. And later this summer, we might have more information on how frequently booster shots may be needed.
Many people around the world are asking themselves how many doses of the COVID-19 vaccine they'll need and how often.
The US and other countries are expediting booster shots to fight rising infections.
People in a handful of places, including Chile and Israel, have even started getting boosters of boosters.
I'm getting the 4th shot today.
But scientists are still trying to determine just how effective these 4th doses are, and some warn against rushing to add more boosters.
Regarding a fourth dose, I'm not convinced at all.
Many epidemiologists say repeated doses shouldn't be given out so quickly.
In countries with a high COVID vaccination ratio, breakthroughs are increasing. This means an infection with COVID-19 despite being vaccinated. This development is worrying many and the reason for many rumors surrounding the efficacy of the vaccines.
Also ich finde, jetzt werde ich auch immer mehr verunsichert, weil ich mir denke, die Impfung hat nichts gebracht. Also ich möchte die 3. Impfung nicht haben, weil ich davon ausgehe, dass ich wahrscheinlich alle halbe Jahre mich impfen lassen müsste. Will ich nicht.
Wie sehr vertrauen Sie den Impfstoffen?
Gar nicht. Ich glaube, ich fühle mich nicht geschützt. Ich behalte Abstand und gehe nirgendwo mehr rein.
This was the headline of Bild. 45% of the over 60-year-olds in the hospitals are vaccinated. What was vaccination actually good for?
Oh, terrible. You can't do it forever. So the cure is just being a true human, being benevolent. Just no more killing animals, people to eat, or to use as fur or leather, or in the laboratory, or cosmetics, anything at all. Not even in the car seat or the lounge sofa, because you get sickness and trouble out of any use of animal people products.
Yes, right, Master.
Okay, that's good for you enough?
Yes, Master.